Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before I begin, don't forget to join my Discord server called Luca10's Hangar. I plan on joining weekly, so if anybody wants to fly together, we can make that happen. My Discord server is linked down in the description below. Today I'll be flying out the Supermarine Spitfire Mk Vc trop. The Spitfire Mark 1 and 2 were excellent, but the Luftwaffe was already rolling out improved Bf-109F models that were faster, cleaner aerodynamically, and better at altitude. Britain needed more power, more firepower, and a fighter they could build right now. At the time, it would have been the Spitfire Mark V, which first flew in early 1941. The Mark V wasn't a brand new design. It was essentially a Spitfire Mark 1/2 airframe fitted with the Rolls-Royce Merlin 45 engine. This let Supermarine upgrade quickly without retooling factories. That was critical when German bombs were still falling. Spitfire models can look confusing, but the letters matter a lot. Mark V was the version, and the C means universal wing. The Mark Vc used the universal wing, designed so it could carry 4 20mm Hispano Mark II cannons. This gave the RAF flexibility, which mattered a lot as combat needs shifted across different theaters. The key theaters that it was in was Western Europe, the Mediterranean, the Middle East, Pacific and Southeast Asia, Australia, and the Soviet Union. It wasn't just a European fighter, it was global. In 1942, Malta was under constant siege by German Bf-109Fs, Italian Mk C-202s, and heavy bombing campaigns. Spitfires were flown in by aircraft carriers, most famously Operation Calendar and Operation Bowery. The Mark Vc's role was to defend Malta's airspace, intercept bombers, and restore morale. Pilots said morale skyrocketed once Spitfires arrived. Early Mark Vcs struggled at altitude against the Bf-109F, but once fitted with tropical filters and clipped wings, they became good enough to hold the line until better models arrived. There were over 6,400 Mark Vs produced and just about 2,400 Mark Vcs produced. The Mark Vc wasn't the best Spitfire, but it might have been one of the most important. It kept Britain competitive during a dangerous transition period, held key territories like Malta, and proved the Spitfire could adapt to global warfare, not just Europe. That's all for the history lesson. I hope you enjoy the combat. Right now I'm with my squad mate Max, and we're just trying to climb as high as we can so we can boom and zoom some people. The reason why we're trying to climb so high is because we want a really good position in the game. Now, just because we climb this high doesn't mean we're going to fight at this altitude. A lot of the early to mid-war Spitfires really weren't very good at these extreme altitudes. The Mark Vc trop is going to be unfortunately included in the list of aircraft that don't do very well at these extreme altitudes. But just because you don't do very well at higher altitudes doesn't mean you don't climb. Like I said just before, you need a good position in the game if you want to win. Right now Max and I are looking at the enemies below us who are basically scraping the ground. We're going to want to try to find the most dangerous and the highest guy that we can see. And then after we do that, we're going to boom and zoom him, hopefully kill him, and then work our way down. We see this 190, he's the highest enemy that we can see, and we're going to boom and zoom him here. He starts to pull up. I start to fire at him, he doesn't even see me, and he continues to pull. He's really in a bad situation, and I'm able to take him out. And then immediately after they kill him, and I climb back up to altitude, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. We've still got 3 enemies below us, and so far they're slow. I see this SM-91 that's directly below me. I'm going to try to boom and zoom him here. He's just going to try to extend away, and I'm not going to let that happen. I've also got to be mindful of the fighters around me. But I'm able to keep firing at him and take him out. And then once again, immediately after the kill, I'm going to climb back up to altitude, and I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. I misclicked there and accidentally put the flaps down. If I was any faster, the flaps would have ripped off. Now I've got an A6M3 in sight, and he's really in a position that I don't like. We're very close to each other, and we're pretty close in altitude. One thing I do know that I'm going to beat the A6M in is speed. Now all I have to do here is just extend away. I don't need to take this fight. All I need to do here is just bring the A6M to my allies. Just because you're extending away doesn't mean you're giving up on a fight. No matter what the enemy says in the chat or how you feel about yourself, it's totally fine to extend away and reset the fight. I'm not going to intentionally put myself into a bad situation. A lot of the times the enemy's just going to be jumping to conclusions and being really toxic for just an unnecessary reason. You just have to remind yourself that you cannot listen to them. Just because you don't take a fight that heavily favors the enemy doesn't mean you're an idiot. Thankfully Max was able to take out that enemy Bf-109, and now I'm just going to tell him to climb here because I'm bringing that 0 towards him. This 0 can't go for both of us at once, so he's going to have to choose. I've also got a Soviet Year 2 up above me, so I'm going to try to kill him. I've got plenty of spacing with this 0, so I'm going to pull up. I've only got 1 shot at this, so I have to make it count. I fire a burst there, and I'm able to take him out. Now it's just the A6M left, and he really wasn't interested in any of my allies down low. All I have to do here is just keep leading him away. I want my allies to climb in behind him, so I'm just going to dive here. I want to get him as low as possible. But I just have to remember that I can't get too low. I don't want to put myself into a really bad situation where I can't accelerate as well. The A6M finally gets bored and turns away. I'm going to turn in with them because my allies really need the help. And then thankfully as I'm turning in, Max was able to shoot his wingtip off. But then unfortunately the P-51 fully commits a head-on with them, really not a smart thing to do, and then they both go down. But at least my ally P-51 is still able to finish him off. If you know that your enemy's hurt and you have the opportunity to get above him, please do it. It's not necessary to fully commit a head-on, it's very 50-50 at that point, and if your enemy is really heavily damaged, you know they're probably going to fully commit it. It just takes a few seconds to climb and boom and zoom him. That year 2 that I killed earlier is still on a spin, but you still have to be careful. Just because he's in a spin doesn't mean he can't defend himself. He still has gunners who are ready to fire at you. All you need is a little bit of teamwork to win. And then just like that, we're able to win the game, and Max and I are able to get 8 kills in total. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video. If anybody has any suggestions on what aircraft they want me to fly next, please leave it in the comment section down below, and I'd be happy to fly that aircraft.